Hey, so my name is Catherine Beeler and I'm a fifth grade teacher at Clifton Elementary. And my goal for this video is to kind of walk you through any of the websites and applications we're going to be using with your student to deliver their remote learning over the next couple weeks. Um, as we know, this is kind of a hectic, weird, new time for all of us. And so there's going to be some learning that comes day by day as we do this. And so as we go, there might be some new websites that are introduced or some ones that we no longer use depending on how this works. And like I said, it's new for us, it's super new for you. And so we're cool with the growth and the mistakes that are definitely going to happen along the way. So, like I said, my goal is to walk you through some of these websites so that you know how to best assist your student with their learning for the next couple of weeks. So, if you have a Chromebook or if you don't have a Chromebook, there's going to be two different ways that you're going to access this main site. If you do not have a school issued Chromebook, in order to get to ClassLink, what you're going to do is you're going to type in D51 schools. You're going to go to that very first website on the page, which is just the District 51 main page for schools. On that, kids can super easily access ClassLink. So it'll bring you to the main page, and it would be awesome if it loaded way faster than this. Bring you to the main page. Students are going to click on the student tab, which will bring them to a list of options. Right here is the very first one, log into ClassLink. They'll need to log in with their District 51 username and password, which they should know because we use them pretty much every day and have used them pretty much every day for the last 6 months. If they don't know or it's forgotten, you can let us know and we can email you their username and password. If you do have a school issued Chromebook, your life got a little bit easier. Once you open a blank Google page like this one, up in the corner it says D51 bookmarks. You're going to open that. It's the very first one. It'll bring you to My ClassLink. They don't have to log in because the district Chromebooks, you can only log in with a district web or district email. So they're already logged into almost everything they need to without having to re-log in 8 million times. So it'll bring you to ClassLink, and mine's going to look a little bit different than what your students will. They might be organized differently depending on the kid. Some of us organize them, some of us don't. It's a page that looks exactly like this. There's a number of different applications that we're going to be using that you can access through this page as soon as it loads. Anyways, here we are. So the main ones your students are going to be using is Dreambox right here, which they do not need a login for. By clicking that icon, they are automatically logged in and can access the assignments that we give them. The other one they're going to be using is this one called G Suite. G Suite houses all of their Google applications for them in one convenient place. So in G Suite, it gives you Google Classroom, which is going to be our main one that we're going to be looking at today, as well as Google Meet and their Gmail. So once they've done that, they're going to go into Google Classrooms. As soon as you see this video, okay, you're going to go to your Google Classroom because that's where all of our information for all of your lessons, any of our communications with students, that's where it's going to be housed. So once they click Google Classroom, which is right there, it'll bring them to a page that looks like this. Again, mine's going to look a little bit different. My class. Normally, everything we access is through this Team Beeler one right here. We're going to change it up a little bit. You should have an invite to one that's called 5th grade remote classroom. You are going to accept that invite. Everything I'm going to send you is going to be in this classroom here, not this one, okay? So every time you're going to go in for lessons, it's going to be in this 5th grade remote learning classroom. Once you've accepted it, or if you've already accepted it, you're going to go into it and it will look just like this. Any of our communications are going to come right up on this stream. We're going to have things for parents. We're going to have things for students. We're going to have a lot of video recordings where we're going to talk back and forth and communicate that way. If we have direct communications for parents, we're going to be contacting you through either ClassDojo or Google Voice, depending on what you have access to. So we're going to be communicating with you a lot. So please don't hate us, but we need to. In your 5th grade remote learning classroom, every week, well, not every week, daily, you're going to be going into this classwork page. We're going to be presenting you with different things: science, literacy, math. Okay. I'm going to be presenting all of the math for all of fifth grade. Mrs. Muncie is going to be presenting all of the literacy for all of fifth grade. And Mrs. Gilmer is going to be presenting all of the science for all of fifth grade. So for an example, you're going to have this remote learning slide, just like we do in class, and it's going to tell you what you need to do. For an example, this is your day 1 for math. Step 1, watch the math video. It's got asterisks there right now because I haven't recorded it yet, but we'll have a live link to that math video on there that you can watch, you can rewatch. If you're confused, rewatch it again. It's going to give you your list of things to do. It says complete 330-20, posted in the fifth grade Google Classroom, complete 2 lessons on Dreambox, or complete 2 lessons on Freckle. I showed you Dreambox already. I'll show you Freckle in a second. The biggest thing, students and parents, if you have questions, screenshot your question. Okay, you can screenshot using those keys right here that I showed you, Control Alt, and then the school dividing or the page dividing one. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6 one in. Okay, do that and email us. Okay, we're also going to be having live times where you can converse with us, talk with us through Google Meet, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So, for an example, if this said, all right, go into classwork, I'm going to look at my math for the day. I'm going to use Woot Math a lot, okay? And so Woot Math is something that all 3 of our classes have done before. They don't need a specific login. They're just logged in with Google. They're going to click on this, and this is their lesson for the day. It'll open up. The interactive lessons will have 12 different spots. I might tell them to do 3. I might tell them to do 6. I might tell them to do all of it. It just kind of depends on the lesson. But it will be right there in that Google slide to help them. Anyways, that's Woot Math. They can do all of their interactive work on here. If your student prefers to do their work pencil paper, I know I have a lot of kids that they would rather do that. Works for me. Have them do pencil paper. Take your phone, take a picture of it, email it to me. That'll count as your work, not a problem. The next thing I'm going to show you is Freckle. My class uses this a lot, and I know the other 2 classes have started using it before break. Freckle is a math and literacy platform. What you're going to do is you're going to type in your specific class code, which all of my kids already have their class codes saved on here. See, it's right here. Then they just need to type in their name. Again, they've done this a lot of times, so it's really not too complex for them to be able to do it. They're going to have lessons on Dreambox. They're also going to have lessons on Freckle. They're going to type in their first and last name. I'm going to use Bob because he's my fake student that I use in all of my classrooms. Bob is also a chicken, so he's probably pretty good at math. Once it loads in, if there are assignments that I've already given to kids, they're going to pop up at the bottom. If I just want them to do 2 domain lessons, they can pick and choose, honestly. It will load. It has them set a goal for the week. It has them earn coins for the week. Obviously, I haven't been on it this week for myself, well, for my fake student, but it'll go in. You can set their goal for the week right here. They can go in and do, oh my gosh, I can't click on the math because it's in the tools. There we go. They can go in and pick any domain they want as long as they're completing the amount of lessons we ask them to do. They can do fact practice. They can do adaptive math, which brings them, it's all leveled. It's all gained on what their abilities are and what they've been doing in class since 2 weeks ago when we were in class. So we've got all of our different domains. They can go in, continue, do some lessons. It'll populate for us on our teacher page to show us exactly what we need them to do. So Woot Math, Dreambox, Freckle. Those are the 3 main pieces that I'm going to be using for math. I'm also going to be doing some interactive pieces where kids are going to have tasks where they're going to need to be able to take a picture of their work and send it to me in order for it to count. The next thing is, one of the apps we're going to use is Epic. We've used Epic Reading before in our classroom. It is giving you access to about 40,000 books in your student's Gmail. If you're in my class, I emailed you a link that your parents are going to have to look at. That gives you full access during this time, I believe until June 30th. Usually it's a paid thing to use outside of classrooms, but in this case, it'll give it to you for free. If you're a student, you're going to click login. You're going to go to Student and Educators. You're going to type in your class code. If you're in my class, your class code is XCQ5900. Okay, you might have already been in there. You probably have it on there already saved. But we're going to be assigning you different reading, different books, different things for you to do. But it's also a time for you to read. Just read. A lot of you guys have said, well, I don't have books in my house. Good news, you now have 40,000 books at your house, so you have no excuse not to be doing some reading during the day. I myself am now halfway through the Chronicles of Narnia series, and I'm super excited about that because I just haven't had time to read for a while, but now I do. In Epic, they're going to click on their name and be able to go in. I'm going to be Adam for a second and open up his. It'll give you search options. You can favorite books. You can do it by comics. You can have them read aloud to you. You can have audiobooks. You have tons of options for kids. So please help your student read. Get them on the computer. Get them a book in their hands. Let them read for 30 minutes at least every day. It'll load any of them. It'll go favorites. It'll give you options just like on Netflix where it says, hey, you watched this? How about this? Because you read this, try this out. So Epic, you need to go in your Gmail right now so you can sign up for the full access piece to it. Okay. We're going to be assigning you different things through Epic, which you can see right here in your mailbox. And you already have something, Adam. So good luck with that. The second to the last thing I'm going to show you. We're going to attempt to do some live meetings. One, that way we can just get some questions answered, some communication going with your students, but also because we truly, dearly miss their little faces. And so we're going to be doing some Google Meet Hangouts. And so Google Meet can be located in that G Suite way back at the beginning on ClassLink. Your teacher will be sending you a meeting option, a meeting link. They'll click it at the certain time and it'll bring them into a chat room with us. Not a chat room, a video link with us. So we'll be doing that probably next week. The last thing is if you are not sure what else to do, you want to have some interaction, do some different things with kids. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is just Catherine Beeler or kbeeler412@gmail.com, all of these videos are examples on how to play math games for both fifth grade. We also have some primary grades in there. If you see Mrs. Diekman or Mrs. Bach now, she got married, the second grade teacher. So we've introduced and played through a bunch of games so you can see how to do them. I'm going to be posting lesson videos on here. I know that math is like a huge cumbersome thing for parents. I'm going to be posting some videos where it just walks kids step by step through it. So if you're interested in watching those, do it. The last thing, if you have questions, if you want to send us work, here's our emails, okay? All three of your main teachers, even if you're doing math with me, you're going to send some of your stuff over to your actual teacher. If your teacher's Miss Muncie, send her your work. That way she can collaborate with all of you on that piece as well. So those are our emails. Students and parents, if you have a student that has an IEP, rest assured that we're working super hard to make sure those students are getting the minutes and the instruction that they need and require. And so if you have questions about IEPs, you can email our two resource teachers, Mrs. Clout and Mrs. Moeller. I know we're also working with ESL. We're also working with speech to make sure that anything that your kid needs during this time is met. So that I know was a lot. Luckily, it's a video and we're not live in the classroom, so I don't have to now repeat myself 8,000 times. You can just rewatch me, and hopefully I was able to answer some of your questions. If you have more specific questions, feel free to email me. Again, kbeeler@d51schools.org. That was a lot. To watch it piece by piece, we're going to be starting with all of the lessons on Monday. I'm going to be sending some more communications out to you guys. We're going to be emailing / sending you Class Dojo / sending you text messages at Fridays in order to tell you like, hey, your kid's done everything, or hey, we've got a lot still left, or hey, we haven't seen your kid all week. So that way you just have that knowledge, since I know that many of you are still working. I hope all of you are safe and healthy. Students, check out Google Classroom later on Thursday, because I'm going to be sending a video just to you in hopes that I can have some communication, because I really, really miss you guys. So again, I hope this answered some of your questions. Email me if you have more.